Teachers of Reddit, what's the craziest rumor you've heard about a student that turned out to be true? The rumor was that prior to Christmas break, he brought a gun to school and had a hit list with students and teachers on it. Not only did it turn out to be true, but the school decided not to tell the teachers. We found out about a major security breach and a potential school shooter from our kids. How much trouble did he get in? He was expelled and maybe arrested. I don't actually know. Even after we found out, no one would tell us much. What's the reasoning behind not warning the school attendees? Like, were they waiting for some bad shit to happen before saying anything? It's probably a panic thing or a public image thing. If they found out the kid had a gun and quickly dealt with the situation by expelling him, they probably didn't want to tell the teachers because that would create panic and unrest. Sometimes remaining calm is the best way to do things and safest for everyone. Like in a fire drill, you are supposed to calmly walk out of the building and not trample everyone in a free-for-all fight to the death. Finding out a kid had a gun would also be a big hit to the school's safety reputation. Word would eventually get to the parents, and panic, as well as possible lawsuits, would ensue. Parents wouldn't feel safe letting their kids back into the school. It makes sense why the school would want to cover that up, but in my opinion, at least, the parents, students, and teachers have a right to know what occurs in the school. Maybe not during the event, but I think the school should always come clean and say what actually happened after the fact. I don't run a school, however, so maybe there are some things I just don't know. Mr. Mems, if there was a school shooting going on at my school, I would like to know it is so during the event, not after, because there is a bloody lunatic with a gun loose and people need to know that to hide. There wasn't a school shooting apparently, just an attempted one. So how does that apply here? Oh, just an attempt. That's fine then. That's complete B*******. My name is on a ref ****** hit list for a school I work for. You're going to get sued. They didn't tell you because their duty to protect the kids' privacy is legally mandated and punishable under criminal law. The most that you could do is sue, which they have insurance for. Seems like they should have worried about safety first and dealt with spinning it into a story about how they prevented a school shooting after. Sounds like what they did do. My mother works at a university in Melbourne, Australia. They had a student make threats towards certain staff including my mum. She's the dean's EA. Due to privacy they were not allowed to alert all staff who the risk was, just that there was a risk and they were in lockdown. He did come to the school and was met by police. You'd think safety trumps privacy, but until something happens it's speculation and alleged aspect that must be taken. Sometimes the privacy excuse just seems like such bullshit. Exactly whose privacy are we protecting? The shooter, obviously. We are totally not hoping the shooter kills someone we don't like, probably someone who'll be forced to deal with the shooter. But in all seriousness, the privacy issue going on does seem stupid to me. Honestly, given my experience with the administration, in particular or principal, they were hoping to hide it and it would just go away. We had been complaining about school safety for a while and our principal didn't want to hear about it. Privacy. Student data is supposed to be highly private, and even a family landline in a student directory usually should requires a release form. Why teachers weren't informed, IDK. But various laws protect student information from other parties and other students as well, usually in various forms of law ranging from protection of minors to anti-bullying. Source: worked around student data a lot as an IT guy in a public school. The most obvious reason I can think of is that teenagers can be real assholes, and there will always be a few that will exploit any situation for their own amusement. His family must have political or monetary connections within the community to quell that info. Depends on whether or not he had an IEP. Prior to Christmas break. Hit list. I guess this gives a whole new meaning to the quote. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. The fact that none of my students made this joke is shocking to me. Well done. I'm surprised none of them made that joke either. It seemed like a no-brainer to me. It probably seemed like a tense enough situation they didn't want to make a joke that might come out as inappropriate. It does. He's gonna take out who's naughty or nice. That's absolutely frightening and rather irresponsible of whoever decided not to tell anyone. I wouldn't want to attend a school that had such little disregard for safety. We had many issues with the administration at that school. It was a rough school for sure, and the admin wasn't doing anyone any favors. Are there any schools that don't have substantial issues with admin? I swear to God that "school administrator" is the most useless profession I can think of. Even in the off chance that you meet a good one, the definition of "good" in this case being someone who isn't a complete and active hindrance to any decent idea that happens to be near them. They're so outnumbered by fucking clowns that they're functionally just as useless. HS teacher in an urban district in Ohio left school and watched the local news a couple of hours later. Found out that we had a bomb threat during the day and staff was not informed, nor was a fire drill instituted. Such little disregard for safety. Little regard or disregard, not both. Were you on the list? I hope not. They wouldn't release the list because that would just cause a lot of unnecessary drama.